Well, let's continue our year-end tour of the table on our on around the space heaters. We've had James on twice since the last regular episode. Mo came on last time about 3 weeks ago. As we begin this space heater chat for very early, just after midnight, December 27th, 2025. Kevin just had a real long day. And he just got home. That's why we're starting this taping after midnight. Happy belated holidays, Kevin. That's the first thing I'll say. Don't tell me why he just got disconnected already.
I'm here. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
I was on mute for a bit. Sorry about that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, technical difficulties, and you know how this goes. We just put it all out. All right, so we're as I said, we're just taking the tour. We've had Mo on, we've had James on a couple times in the last month or so. First time we've talked to you in a little bit. So where do we start? Where do you want to go? How do you want to, well, or do I make the suggestion you just really had a long day? Because you work in retail. Today was Boxing Day up here in Canada. So it's one of the busier shopping days of the year.
Yeah.
What would you say is the bigger one, at least in Canada? Would it be Black Friday, or are we talking Boxing Day? Because I think in recent years, like Black Friday is without a doubt, or as far as I can tell, the busiest shopping day in the US every year. And then up here in Canada, it's either the day after Christmas, so Boxing Day today here, the 26th, or it could be Black Friday as well. And Black Friday has made inroads at least. And maybe there's an argument to be made that could still be the busiest shopping day of the year. Oh, wait, I think it's the last Friday before Christmas or something like that. But this would be
the last Friday of November.
Okay. So this could be still one of the, okay, so in your estimation, in your observation, anecdotally, Black Friday, Boxing Day.
I think I'd give Black Friday a slight edge now over Boxing Day.
I think that's how it's turned in the last number of years anyway.
Because now you have given the public one general opportunity to get some Christmas shopping in. And so it's an excuse for people to go and spend for Christmas.
Yeah. I read this article today that there's more of a frenzy during Black Friday, and then you're a little bit more any possible consumers would be a little bit more calculated, or just a little bit more patient or calculated in terms of their purchases on Boxing Day. Would you?
It's interesting because I know there are a few establishments that do not participate on Black Friday on principle. So, famous clothing retailer Kith comes to mind.
Okay, which I can't say I know too much about that. So,
they've opened a store in Toronto and Yorkville, but they initially started up, I think, in New York. They were a retailer selling a lot of sneakers and streetwear, and they got popular enough to start releasing their own clothes, and their brand became recognizable enough to the streetwear crowd that they do just fine with that as well, on top of their other third-party offerings. And they've been known to not participate on Black Friday in recent years on principle. And
is that principle keeping just not cheapening their product? Because
that plays into some of it. Also, I do think the owners believe, they truly believe they shouldn't, because of like the whole holiday seasons, because it's American Thanksgiving around that time, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I also think that they probably do just fine. They don't need Black Friday
To move stuff.
to move product, yeah, and so they don't need to discount product just for Black Friday. I think
what it is.
I don't know if Uncle Otis, another clothing retailer in Toronto, I don't know if they did it this year, but I know in prior years, I think you had to actually, you'd have to be willing to provide like food donations to whatever charity they choose.
Mm.
And then you can get like only 10% off or 15% off. So
Okay.
it's a minimal discount, but hey, you know what? If you're doing something for the greater good, then sure, why not? Like, I think that's a good way to go about it.
Okay.
Like, I respect that route.
A little modest, I guess. Okay. Well, quickly. Okay. As I said, as I hinted, you work in retail, or partly work in retail.
Yeah.
Anything of note today to bring up? Since and let me preface this for everybody listening outside of Toronto. We are today here in Toronto. There was snow, lots of it. No white Christmas, but we certainly had it for Boxing Day.
At a white Boxing Day, yeah.
Yes, we did. So
we had some snow on the ground left over, but yeah, it came back.
It came back, and for what it's worth, I stayed in the entire day. I did step out briefly to get a coffee, but and reading the news reports, people still went shopping today.
Oh yeah.
So it's true, at least from your end.
So for me, I did brave the snow to go downtown to our favorite used bookstore chain in Toronto.
BMV.
They do 10% off everything, but Boxing Day only.
Go for it. That's all you could say. Go for it.
So there were some things that I knew that I was hoping were still there. So I did take advantage of that.
Mm-hmm.
Bought some things for myself. Bought some things for the business. Went to both of the downtown locations.
Okay, I think I have an idea where those are.
Yeah.
So the one near the Eaton Center, and then the one near the old Mervish Village area.
Yeah.
Those are the two you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
And
I don't know if they still have Queen, but then Queen usually doesn't have any secondhand product anyway.
I think it's still, actually, now that you bring it up, I think it's still there. And I'll preface this. I'll preface the Bloor location, because I think that's a stone's throw away from Anime Otaku Hobby, which I mentioned in in the Space Heater.
Yeah, they're further down the street towards Christie.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They're between Bathurst and Christie on Bloor.
Yeah.
I don't buy figures, so then I had no.
You haven't watched
there.
You haven't watched.
I also had very little time too.
Yeah. Well, so do I. I mean, you've watched a few of the streams, haven't you? Probably.
Yeah.
Not. You've seen what I've done in the last couple streams.
Yeah, you opened some stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. At least I will say at least the last UPS delivery from Indigo worked out fine. Nothing stuck. So we're okay in that sense.
Yeah,
anyway.
I didn't have enough time to go to the Beguiling. They're doing 20% off most things, and they always have their like clearance. They have a lot of clearance manga now, but I think you have to buy that online only for pickup. They won't let you browse for that stuff unless you know them really well.
Good to know people.
20%.
Good to know people.
Yeah. The 20% excludes this month's releases, so anything from December 2025 was not included, and none of their H manga was included because they never give you a discount on that.
Okay. So
the only way you can ever get any discount is during Anime North for that stuff.
Well, that's how they are. That's how they roll, I guess.
Yeah, generally it's actually this year they did actually Faku was actually included as part of their like buy more, like save more, because they have Canadian distribution for Faku. But everything else is only tax exempt if you pay cash, and that's the only other discount you get otherwise.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Do I want to at least bring this up for Anime North right now, just quickly before I forget?
What did you want to bring up?
Hotel season begins. So the registration begins in early January. So registration opens Saturday, January 10th. Room block reservations on the Monday. Get your popcorn for that. It's January 12th.
Okay. Get your bots ready, everybody.
Yeah. So the Artist Alley, we forgot
Actually,
to
I
mention.
shouldn't say that since we're the official podcast of Anime North, but I digress.
Oh no, it's sometimes, but you know how we are sometimes, right? It's always fun to watch. From my standpoint, it's always fun to watch this, just hear about what's going on when it
Hear
comes
about
to
everyone's suffering. You mean?
Well, it's just interesting to watch. I hate to put it in those terms, right? Because I understand, I respect the frustration that'll probably happen on this day. Right. And it's always something to talk about. It's Anime North season, but I also call it the unofficial beginning of Anime North season, that 5-month buildup to AN. AN season begins with these registrations. And also Artist Alley and Pro Plaza and Vendors Hall is also has had applications open up. That's actually ongoing.
Because those are all I know Artist Alley is a lottery.
That happened that started on November 28th. Pro Plaza, December 13th. Vendors Hall, that already that was ongoing. So, but that
I always know lottery is always. It's just you just pray.
Sure. I bought a ticket I registered for a ticket for Nerd Market, but that's another story.
So did I actually.
So we'll see how the lottery goes in January.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know. What was I gonna say? Who else was? It sounds kind of similar to how a friend of this show, he's told me he likes to go to the malls on Boxing Day to witness the chaos, and I just think, what are you smoking, and can I have some?
Oh, that's usually a line I have. What are you smoking, and can I have a couple grams? That's what
it's
I
just
usually
like
say.
it's like, why would you? Why? I've already told this. It's like, why would you go out of your way? I struggle to find parking just to like shop when you don't need.
I should tell you what I did when I was years ago, just to be a complete dick. I did this. I did this one a couple times when I was years ago, when I was a little younger, fairly younger. I would get a parking spot, yes, and then do some stuff. And if I had time to mess around with people, I would go back into the parking lot, wait for a car to drive up past my car.
Oh my gosh!
And then just try unlock it, see the lights. I try to be as out of sight as possible. And then just see what would happen.
Oh my gosh, Mike! You
just to be a dick, just to be a dick. This was something I would have done I did years ago, right? Just
Michael.
This was pre or maybe during the first run, sometime during the first run of the podcast. Right, during version 1, during the version 1 years, or maybe the purgatory years. I was a bit vindictive back then, so I could see why your friend would do it. Anyway, okay, so that's anything else to mention? What else did you do on Boxing Day today? I did say you worked in retail, so you had a long day. You had a pretty long day. You went shopping and then you helped shoppers.
So after I made my trip, and then after my mom bought some stuff at the organic health food store, then we went back, and I elected to be dropped off because the thought of spending half an hour for parking was not fun. Plus, I wouldn't want my mom to wait for me for 8 hours. And yeah, we had some surprise sales going on at my workplace.
Nice.
Namely, select Nintendo Switch 2 games were actually on sale. First party Nintendo Switch 2 games were on sale, in fact.
Busy enough in there?
Yeah, it was busy enough. It was manageable.
Well, that's a good news, isn't it?
Yeah. And then I'm also Indigo had started their hardcover sale this year or today. Well, I guess technically yesterday because now we're technically on the 27th now, but 30%. So it's the second year where it's not as good. It used to be 40% 2 years ago. Now we're at 30. Because Heather and her husband need to recoup some of that money back.
No, Indigo has had its issues. Yeah, Indigo has had its issues.
And the hack. Yep.
I
assume they just want to drive in-store activity because they need to justify their expensive leases, I guess.
Well, sure. I mean, you get it. I get it. So
yeah, they've really gone away from online sales. I find.
I appreciate my birthday when it happens, just for reference.
It's annoying. I guess that's the way I would put it, is that it makes me appreciate the birthday coupon a little more. Because
that's my single big, I use that but when I'm saying this out loud and then watch it be reduced next year.
Yeah, because basically it's I have to actually plan out my purchases. And now that the sale has become predictable, now that it seemed to always be early January now, it really becomes a notion of how much do I want to I'm gonna sound like a dick now too. It's how do I take advantage of this company as much as possible? Because I don't think I'll be able to make it in time, because some stuff I want may need to take the 2 weeks because they have to order from the distributor. But usually what I do is in sales like this is that I will try and buy the stuff I want before the sale happens, and then return and repurchase immediately.
Okay, I get it.
Because there are some things that I collect that aren't normally in store anymore.
Okay.
Because these sales tend to be restricted to in-store only. They really don't like to do online sales anymore. Especially for manga, I've noticed. That's one of the big changes in the last 2 or 3 years with Indigo.
But we talked about that. That's a driver.
Yeah.
For Indigo these days, right?
And to take into consideration that you can buy Faku manga through Indigo online.
Yeah.
So that is one way to try and get a deal for those books. And usually Fakumon, you gotta buy it within the first year usually.
Otherwise,
you risk them no longer stocking it at Indigo.
Yeah, as I said, I don't. I'm not arguing preferences. Maybe not my thing, considering where my own preferences are.
And then usually,
that's just it, right? I mean, whatever people want to read, it's a free country as far as I know.
Yeah, so they're not willing to stock J18 though, because I know J18 has tried. Also, and then at the same time, it's buying things to if you want to maximize your discount, you have to basically buy things of all in the same price. So then when it's a buy X get X free kind of situation, then the employee would have to be nice enough to let you group your books together so that you can maximize your discount. Because technically they're supposed to only give you the cheapest books free.
Your mileage would probably vary, I'm guessing.
The key is to not get a supervisor or a manager.
I got it. Okay, so there's that. So glad you survived. Sounds like you survived.
Yeah.
but albeit rather late. That's why we're starting to tape this after midnight.
Yeah, I have to figure out what hardcover books I need for this sale.
Well, what type of hardcovers are we like? Name a title just off the top of your head that you would be looking to buy.
The Mushishi hardcover. The collector's
Okay.
edition is a hardcover because that got re-released this year. I think there might be a new Bride story out.
So that's the type of stuff we like. They sound like omnibus type stuff.
Yeah, most of these will be omnibus. I might have to check to see if Queen of Moraldus is still available from Godansha, because that's a hardcover. What else? I have to see if they have any scribbles available, also by Kawamori, because Bride Story is also by Kawamori. Who else? What else? I'm not buying JoJo right now.
We're gonna talk. We could end up talking JoJo indirectly a bit later. You know, that.
Maybe I might catch up with Fist of the North Star. And what else? Not really into Junji Ito at the moment. I've kind of bought most of the Junji Ito I want. I have to see if there's a new Saint Young Men out too, actually, now that I think about it.
Okay, well, you don't have to go through the entire shopping list.
Yeah.
Make sure you write it down, okay? So
those are the ones that come to mind at the moment.
Got it. Okay.
Particularly Mushishi, because I need to make sure I rebuy that, because I do kind of miss it. Because I chose to cash out on my set earlier this year.
You do what you have to, dude.
Yeah.
As I said, I ain't judging anymore. Okay. So that's the basics of how Boxing Day went. Do you want to get to the other stuff now?
Sure.
Okay. The other reason that we haven't talked to Kevin in the last couple months is he's been busy with something cool. You want to bring it up, or or intro it by saying, well, what do you want to talk? Oh, this is basically the heart of why we're doing this, why we're chatting around the Space Eater tonight.
So I was not here for 2.5 weeks, so I was not available for your last recording. Like when I think it was at least 3 you were together.
Oh well, no, it was just me and Mo. That's the last.
It was just you and Mo. Okay.
Yeah, just me and Mo.
So I did a trip to Asia for my friend's wedding, and that was why because I didn't work Black Friday, because I still have I have a full-time and a part-time job, but so because I worked Black Friday, I did not work Black Friday. I had to work Boxing Day.
You have to give it back somehow.
Yeah. And this was planned way back in like February, March, actually. So took 2.5 weeks off. Yeah. About 2.5 weeks.
Good for you. So places visited. And congratulations to your friend, by the way.
Yeah.
Congratulations. I mean, those type of things are really cool to hear about.
Yeah, they're good friends. So I really did want to try and go. I usually don't plan trips to Asia just because I do find them pretty intimidating from a logistics standpoint, but they're worth it. So I decided to go through with it.
Good for you. And good for them. Good for them.
So they got married in Vietnam. They decided to have their wedding ceremony in Phu Quoc, which is a resort island in the southern part of Vietnam.
Are they both Vietnamese? Sorry if I just to ask.
Yes, they are both Vietnamese. Cool. This island is basically straddling the border between Vietnam and Cambodia. If you ever look at an atlas or a globe, and but before that, essentially, so what the itinerary was that I flew to Hong Kong, chose to do an extended layover, so left Monday, landed in Hong Kong Tuesday night, had a full day in Hong Kong on the Wednesday, and then left Thursday morning for Phu Quoc.
Cool.
Then Phu Quoc was supposed to be, let me check the calendar. Phu Quoc we were supposed to do 4 days or no, 3 days in Fuquoc, and then 4 days in Ho Chi Minh or Saigon, depending on who you talk to. And then the plan was to do Japan for 6-7 days. No pun intended. And
where's the pun? I'm old enough here.
I really didn't intend to phrase it that way. And then what was supposed to be 3 days in Fuquoc ended up being 5 days in Fuquoc because I had visa issues, but I'll get to that. So I would say I had 2 nights in Hong Kong essentially because I didn't get there till maybe 8:39, give or take.
Got it.
So I, having been influenced by Kowloon Generic Romance,
I was about to bring up that title. Yes.
I chose to stay in Kowloon, and I chose to stay in air quotes hotel. It is technically a hotel in the sense that you do get your own room, but I did choose a grungier spot because of the older aesthetic of the lobby and like the little sitting area, like the little patio area.
So what? Like, are we talking about a place that actually sits in the vicinity of the old walled city where it once stood?
We were quite close to the Market Street. I forgot the name of that street, but there's like a distinct like market where you walk down like the aisle and there's like a lot of like food stalls, I should say, not food trucks, food stalls. I don't recall if I was too close to the walled city itself. I was pretty close to the park, but I didn't get an opportunity to walk around it, unfortunately. I figured it was maybe a bit, by the time I ate, I figured it was a bit too late to walk around at night, so I chose not to go.
I could be wrong on this, but my understanding is the park sits on where the walled city once stood.
I think you might be right, actually. Yeah, because it's a pretty big park, and so I unfortunately elected to not walk through it because I didn't want to risk getting. Thought it was a bit too late for that.
That's fair.
And then my friend, who was also in Hong Kong at the same time, he planned an itinerary for us the next day. So we decided to hike the peak.
That's one way to put it.
Yep. So on the island part, there is it's basically very elevated, and it there's like an area called the peak. So you're essentially walking up the mountain, so to speak, that Hong Kong is situated in. Or at least the bottom half of Hong Kong is situated in. And usually he knows I'm up for these kind of hikes. So yeah, I was down. And it took about 2.5 hours while we ate pastries along the way.
Are we referring to Victoria Peak?
I believe it is. I'm trying to look at... It more or less is, actually. I think it is.
I've heard of it. That's why.
Yeah, we ended up going to... Well, actually, not technically Victoria Peak. We basically went to... Or I guess you could say it is. Not literally the peak, but like... We kind of got a bit higher, but we went to the malls that were at the top.
Okay.
Had some pretty good wonton noodle soup there. Because they're a lot smaller than what you'd maybe expect having it here, but man, those wontons were good. Kind of like...
do it. Well, I'm sure I'm sure they do it right there.
Yeah. Apparently this place was like it was recognized by Michelin, apparently. So I guess take that for what you will, but it was really quite good. The egg tart I had before that was also very good. It might have ruined egg tarts for me here. I'll be honest.
Well, that's like getting sushi in Japan.
Yeah. Also went to a menswear store called the Armory. So they're pretty well known in the formal menswear community, and this was my first time at their new location because they had a spot in a different building nearby, but they've now taken up an entire floor of this new building that they decided to switch to, and they've turned into this whole menswear experience. So they have this Japanese eyewear company called Kaneko Eyewear that have a retail outlet there. Their store is of decent size. They also have like a whiskey tasting bar. They had a cigar shop, and I'm just like, wow, like Mark Cho really knows how to do it when he has the funds to.
Don't know what else to add.
Yeah, it's a really good shop. I had to buy a shirt for the wedding, and I ended up buying a knit T-shirt.
I get it.
Yeah, so I decided to treat myself, so to speak.
Well,
That is the most expensive T-shirt I ever bought.
Well, it's a special occasion, right? So
Yeah.
the wedding. And so going back to Fuqua.
Yeah.
How was that? What anything you want to say quickly about the wedding? Because I know people will probably be more curious about Japan here, but
let's see. Fukuoka was pretty good overall. The resort was quite nice. Having free laundry was quite nice. 5 pieces a day. Especially because like when you're in Vietnam, like you're basically sweating through your shirts in half a day. So that was really nice to have. Met some new people that were pretty cool. Because some of their friends I had never met before because they would live in parts of the West Coast or parts of Alberta.
Nothing like a destination wedding.
Yeah. So in terms of the visa issues, though,
and this is what kept you there for an extra day, right?
Yeah. So I was supposed to be 3.5 days in Ho Chi Minh, ended up being 1.5 days. So my mistake was that the dates on my visa should have aligned with my entire time in Vietnam versus just my time of being in Ho Chi Minh, because going into Phu Quoc does not require a visa, but going into mainland Vietnam does. And because the dates didn't match, I was not allowed to go in
to Vietnam to
Ho Chi Minh. And this was not a situation where I could have bribed myself out of, because bribing officials is a thing in Vietnam. But even they said that bribing would not help me in this situation.
So you found yourself stuck.
Yep. So I had to wait until Monday to go to this travel agency that could give me a new visa for the sum of 4,675,000 Vietnamese dong, which equates to about 175 USD.
Which is more than 200 here.
Yep, around 240 Canadian. And they also needed to take my passport to do this.
That's how visas work, I think.
Yes, so there was the risk of my visa disappearing too. But it worked out because I am here.
Yeah, you're not stuck.
Okay. I had to arrange a whole backup plan to like ditch the rest of Vietnam to go to Japan instead, because if I couldn't get in by Monday night, then there was no point at that point. But things worked out.
I'm glad to hear.
Yeah, Ho Chi Minh was really fun as well. It's pretty crazy, I would say, but at the same time, there's like an era of, I'd say there's this kind of romantic element to the city. Like there's all these different little like alleyways and streetways and like observatories that kind of really give a sense of atmosphere to the city.
Can I say charming grunge?
Yeah.
Would that be a way to put it?
Yeah.
Trying to put it, because that's the impression I get of Ho Chi Minh. But you like you said, or kind of romantic in a romantic way.
Because I also ended up buying a book I think it's called Saigon Love Stories, and it's a bunch of short stories about love, whether or not it's whether there's success or otherwise. Actually, there are quite a few like bittersweet stories in that book. Most of them true stories by the author's friends as well as herself.
Is it only available there? That sounds like an interesting read already.
The book is in English. Finding it might be a bit tricky, but it should exist. You just might have to dig around for a little bit.
Probably not an easy find.
Perhaps not, yeah. But I assume it's in print. But did eventually go to Japan.
All right, let's hear about this part.
Also had a slight visa scare, but it worked out quickly. It required some extra work on my part, but yeah, that was my first time in 10 years. I did prioritize hanging out with friends, so I didn't shop for myself as much as I would have liked, but I did get the opportunity to hang out with people I don't normally see, because I do have some friends and acquaintances that live in Japan now, and I also bumped into other friends who are coincidentally in Japan for other things.
Hope you didn't. First of all, hopefully you didn't cause an international incident.
No,
good.
I'd say I was fine.
Make it easy for those of us that go in the future.
This trip, parts of it, because I didn't know everyone that was part of this travel group as well. So there were times where I was going to be by myself. So, because obviously, like, some people do want to do their own things at various points. So there was one time where hung out with one of my friends. We went to a lot of like boutique clothing stores. So this is one of my shopping days where I did buy some clothes because that's one of my other hobbies when I can justify it.
It's a thing for you.
Yeah.
I've known you long enough to know that.
I ended up going to Chris Broad's bar, actually.
Lost. Oh, okay. Yeah. As in abroad in Japan, right?
Yes. Chris Broad from abroad in Japan. Because I actually chose to go to a comedy show. Like I think it's called Tokyo Comedy Bar. So they're in Shibuya, if I recall correctly. And Lost Bar was not very far from there. So I thought, sure, let's just do like the 1-2. Let's do the number 1, number 2. It's to knock 2 things out right away. And I was very fortunate because they said that it was sold out, like if you go through like a ticketing website, but I walked in person, it was not an issue.
The Broad bar, or
that too, yeah. They're like,
we're talking about the comedy show.
Yeah, so Chris's bar is a true bar in the sense that there's really only snacks, and otherwise it's just alcohol and certain non-alcoholic drinks, but pretty good stuff, I'll say. I did buy a couple of drinks, only one alcoholic, one not.
Cool.
And then I had his cheese plate, so it's good to have some good cheese.
I'm sure it pairs well with the alcohol.
Mm-hmm. With the comedy bar, I was quite lucky because there were 2 performers that I did recognize.
Really?
Instagram, yeah. I'm not sure how often you're on Instagram, but
I'm not. Well, I can't say I am. I mean, I've yet to update anything on that, right? For the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I really should, but that's just me.
The first guest I recognized was Richardo. His name is Richard, but he's
Richard. That's good. Yeah.
So he is a black comedian from the UK that was in Japan for an extended period of time, but now has made the move and is trying to make a career in comedy. And so he has a good selection of funny Instagram reels detailing certain like misunderstandings or misconceptions in Japan, and like how certain words can sound like other things. So he has a lot of good skits, and I think he's quite funny. And Another comedian by the name of Yuri Collins was actually there too. Her I also recognized. She does a lot of skits in regards to like living in Japan and like being a single woman in Japan as well. It's interesting in the sense that they tend to use that bar as a way to like try out new routines and new skits. So like not everything was like landing perfectly, but uh it was cool to see them try and work the crowd and see what sticks and what doesn't. So it's kind of I've never been in that kind of environment before. And because it's a small space, it's very intimate too. So I had a great time.
I guess the feedback is, yeah, chance for, like you said, intimate. So you can probably they can probably sense that feedback right away.
There was one moment where she had a joke where she was on a date with someone that had the same name as her dad, and her dad's name's Kevin. And then at one point she did ask, "Oh, who's traveling Japan, right?" And then so I'm raising my hand. I'm like, "Oh God, what if she actually picks me?"
And hopefully she avoided.
She did not. I was half hoping she would, because that could have been a pretty amusing moment, but
then new material probably.
Yeah, it did not happen.
That sounds good. Like I don't do these type of things myself, so and I don't recall when I have.
Yeah, like I think for me that was a great opportunity to like find some community and like find like to enjoy something that's like in English, because that's not that common in Japan. Like the crowd did seem to have a good mix of tourists and expats and students.
Still.
And with a smattering of Japanese locals too. It was a pretty interesting mix of people.
And I guess the locals would have been able to understand by and large.
Yeah, the locals there did have good English comprehension, so like they knew what they were getting into.
That's good. That sounds like a very, very unique experience.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly, I wouldn't have thought of that for going to Japan as an experience. Being a tourist in Japan. So that just hearing that story in and of itself sounded kind of interesting.
Yeah.
All right. So any other takeaways? Any other takeaways you want to talk about from or experiences you want to talk about from at least the Japanese part of this trip?
Let's see. Let me try and quickly go through this. Tokyo Skytree was pretty good. We didn't go up all the way, but they had some pretty interesting stories, including the Pokemon Center and the Strict G store, which is basically it's an official it's a Gundam streetwear brand. I think it is officially licensed as well. So you have a lot of like t-shirts and jackets and hats and other like streetwear related clothing that's tied to Mobile Suit Gundam. I believe it is all official.
Cool.
Also, and there was like Christmas stuff going on too, because then it's that time of year, and Christmas is it's more of a romantic holiday in Japan.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah.
And then went watch shopping at one point with a friend. Couldn't justify I did find my dream watch. Couldn't justify in the end because I didn't get it wasn't as much of a discount as I was hoping for. So my gut just told me to. It's the Grand Seiko. I forgot the exact number, but it's the one with the snowflake dial. I'll have to send you photos of it. But like
Seiko's not a name I have not heard in years, by the way.
But yeah, and this is not just it's not Seiko, it's Grand Seiko. So it's the highest level of Seiko.
Mm-hmm. Seiko's not a name. That's a historic name when it comes to quartz watches, right?
Yes, and these ones are automatic as well. These are not quartz watches. Not at that price point. They're not. Helped one of the grooms find his dream bag, because ended up finding the Chanel bag he wanted at a consignment store in Shinjuku, I believe. So
It's a fashion area. We are talking fashion here. I mean, Tokyo is a hotbed still.
So we made that trek the next day, and they did still have it, so that was very good. I was glad that he found what he wanted. My friend who took me to the clothing stores that I talked about, he also met us on that day. He took us to this really good soup curry place that probably would have never found otherwise, and it was a good hearty meal, like something that maybe it takes a bit of effort to find in Japan. It's also a little bit unique, which was nice. Hit up a lot of Pokemon centers.
Okay.
We hit up, I think, 4 or 5, I'll say.
They're catering to the demographic, I guess, of the tour for both the area and likely tourists.
I also went to Team Lab's Borderless exhibit. So it was, what an amazing show. Oh my gosh, worth every damn penny. I went with
we have to put links. We have to put links.
Yeah, I went with my friend Don on the Saturday. This was a day where I was only going to spend time with other friends. But
is this the Don that that did our very first version 2 episode?
Yes, yep, it's that Don. He's there for good.
For good.
He is there for good.
What's tied him down there? Please say hi to him, by the way, because it was cool. It was cool that he did that very first version 2 episode with us.
Yep, he has a ring. He has a ring.
Congratulations. Yeah. Please send him that. Please do.
Yep, he's
engaged.
Yep, no, he's married. He's married now. So yeah, he's there for good.
Congratulations. Great to hear. I'm really happy to hear about that.
Yeah, it was good to see him. And then he tagged along with me with my other friends who were coincidentally in Japan for a sound novel or sound drama concert / collaboration event that was going on. Basically, we did karaoke at a karaoke place, and they were offering this collab. So you buy the themed food, and then you get the chance to pull a gacha for these boards, these art boards. So we were helping our friends try and get a set each, because the food was not that great. It was okay at best, but that's par for the course for these collab events.
Sure, that makes sense.
But we almost got,
why you're there. Right.
We almost got screwed over in the sense that, so usually they tell you when your time's almost up. This place didn't, and Don realized this quick enough to tell us that we need to get out ASAP to pay. Because I think if you went over, then you had to charge. They would charge you a lot more for the extra hour.
Kind of like parking.
Yeah. So we determined this place was kind of sketchy in that sense, but we paid in time.
Good.
And then the Uniqlo flagship and the Muji flagship. Oh man, those are impressive buildings. And even just shopping in general in Japan is, I dare say, it's unmatched in much of the world. When it comes to especially when it comes to independent stores, it just something just hits different when you go to what we call these select shops, where these are small boutiques. Sometimes these are bigger boutiques too, but it's just the selection and just how they merchandise everything is just so on point. And it really shows off the personality of the shopkeepers. It really does. And that's not to say that you can't find that in Toronto, but sometimes I feel like Japan really is on the cutting edge of trends and just finding good quality brands as well. And even if you go to a Muji or you go to a Uniqlo, those stores are quite good. The Muji flagship had a whole ass bakery and coffee shop, and they had their own prepared food section. It really puts the Mujis here to shame.
And the closest you got was the coffee. That was the coffee bar in the Atrium one. Have you been to the Well one?
No, I haven't.
Because that's what because obviously there's a curiosity about that being in Toronto, and it had recently
Oh,
opened, so I don't know what to expect in that.
I see.
So,
Interesting.
but
I'll keep that in mind.
which is interesting to note because they've been scaling them back, right?
Yes, they
So
have closed some stores, yeah.
yeah, they did. I mean,
And what was that? I'm trying to think what else quickly. Tokyo Disney Sea we went to. One of there were some in my group that wanted to go. It was one of their birthdays, and I
mhm.
did choose to go because I really can't see myself going by myself otherwise. So I took the opportunity to go, and yeah, Tokyo Disney Sea is. I think it puts the other Disneys to shame.
in
It really
its
does.
own way, right? It just hits different, I guess.
So first of all, this is not run by Disney themselves. This is a company that has the license to run Disney here in Japan, and like Disney Sea is more of like the adult Disney in the sense that like there aren't as many rides, but the scenery and the props are immaculate. The food is also quite good and also like pretty decently priced for amusement park food. Like it is a little more expensive, but not egregiously so.
Hmm.
Because I've been to Disneyland Paris and I've been to actually no, the other ones I haven't been to since I was very young. But like I went to Disneyland Paris last year and food was okay. I actually know it was mediocre. I think you have to pay for the decent food at Disneyland Paris is the impression I get. But like you can go to any like food stall to grab like popcorn or chicken thighs or churros or anything, and it's just like quite good for what you're paying for. Usually, you just expect the food to just be but no, it's pretty decent.
Well, you know what? I know you just mentioned that the Tokyo Disney Sea is not run by it's just a licensed place. But my my best friend who always goes to Disney World, and I get it.
Mhm.
There's differences, but he would always say to me, encouraging me to go, saying, "There's stuff if you're older.
At
It's
Disney
not just for
World.
kids." Yeah.
Okay.
Like he always tried to hammer in with me that it's just like you'll find something at your age. So that, I mean, when you tell that story, that's what comes to mind, right?
I will say though that you tend to need to have a battle plan when you go to Disney, and Disney Sea is no exception. Like you need to prioritize which rides you think are worth paying the fast pass for, which will let you cut the line. And you can only buy one after a certain cooldown period. And these fast passes can sell out too, because obviously only so many people can jump the line at any point. So then you really have to pick and choose what rides you think are worth fast passing and which ones you're just willing to wait out and just wait in those 1.5 to 2 hour lines. Because we went on a Monday, but I think school had just let out. So then there was an influx of like high schoolers and like probably college kids as well.
So what? They're on a break of some sort.
Yeah, so like they've been let out of school.
Mm.
Like they're probably finished exams. So then they were
Okay.
just there were I did notice a lot of like high school kids around.
Okay. Okay. So yeah,
Because there
I
were a
get
lot
it.
of them are still in uniform actually.
Well, I mean, I know the cult. I can't say I pretend to know the culture. So,
Hmm.
but I imagine there would have been a like the school term would have been done and they're on a break of some sort.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. That's fair.
Yeah. I think that's more or less all I can think of at this point. Like,
Okay.
very clean overall. Like, obviously, certain places get dirtier, but at night, but like it's generally quite clean. We were a little bit east of Ueno, so it wasn't very bustling, but we were quite close to Amayokocho, so walking through that district was always pretty cool. That's where we usually ate dinner.
Mm. Well, it's just
A lot of choice, so it
just
was
sounds
good to
like
walk around.
a wonderful experience.
Yeah,
The
I didn't. I
whole
came
thing.
back to like -10 weather, and I was like, take me back. I don't want to be here anymore.
Yeah, welcome back. I remember us joking about, you like you just returned as a cold snap happened here in Toronto.
Yeah, I was like, this is why people want to just stay in Asia forever. I get it now.
Oh, welcome back.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm glad to hear that the trip went really well, and I get the feeling the others might ask to elaborate when they come back around the mics. Anyway,
I I just wish I can do Hong Kong for
a
a
little
longer period of
longer.
time. Yeah, like
Well,
I've never been there for more than 3 days.
well, you've seen a lot more of the world than I have, right? And
Oh
maybe,
yeah?
well, I don't travel. I don't have a habit of traveling. It's just the way time has been. So I could say that I have a degree of envy, but I know I could do something about it. It's just I haven't.
You know, I have other friends that are the same as you. Like they're just not very inclined.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. And the whole with all the controversies about tourists in Japan specifically, like behaving badly, and then how the Japanese feel about the over tourism these days. This has always been my dilemma about about traveling. And I'll tell the story. And this was even within Canada.
Okay.
Years ago, when I've done my trips to Montreal, right? I would feel guilty about not knowing French, because the people there were, like when they knew I was from out of town and they knew I was from Toronto, all the people there that I encountered would at least could speak English just to accommodate me. And I felt guilty. I felt guilty about I felt guilty about not knowing French, not knowing enough French. And I know I would have those feelings if I went to a place where English is not a thing, where English is not predominant. I would feel so bad about not knowing enough of the language to try and get around.
But
so this is
English is just as big of a language as French in Quebec. Like, yeah, if you're in Quebec City, that might be a different story.
And I went there as a kid, but that's another story.
But I feel like for Quebec City, or no, I feel like for Montreal, like basically everyone knows.
Yeah, they're bilingual. So. They're bilingual there. So imagine going to a place for me, and those are the feelings I would get. And so imagine a place where English really isn't a thing, right? So that's a big reason that's part of the reason. There's other excuses, but that's part of the reason I've never really traveled.
You know, like I'll say for me, because I have not worked a lot of jobs where I had vacation days. So I always found it hard to justify taking longer vacations and longer trips, because I always think, well, I could be using that time to work and put more money aside towards retirement.
Yeah, I guess that's me too. I mean, from my previous jobs, right? So it was never in the culture where I was before to like, it just never came around to take longer vacations. So
I'll be honest. I'll be honest. That's why I don't take long trips. And that's also why I tend to only take trips to the US, because it usually would be, say, a concert or a con where like a guest I care about is coming. Those are the events that would force my hand to go even take short trips in the first place.
Well, I think you're the most well-traveled of the bunch of us, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, of us around the table.
Interesting.
Right? I think you are.
And like I'll say like my friend's wedding was also like an impetus for me to go. I don't know if I would have gone to Vietnam otherwise. I'll be honest.
Still, I'm impressed.
But yeah, I don't regret it one bit. I really do think it's worth like going somewhere at least once, like even to like Vancouver, for example. Like I've still never even left the airport in Vancouver. So I think that's gonna be one of my resolutions for next year is to take a trip to Vancouver.
My resolution would be to travel again in some form. Look, what is it about Anthony Bourdain that was once said? People praised him after he had passed away because he wanted to show, like, let Americans be less afraid to travel outside of it.
Yeah, because a lot of Americans don't travel abroad.
Mm-hmm.
That is a pretty strong stat from what I remember.
And that's probably a big part as to some of the mentality that's there.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That
same with the Japanese. They rarely travel abroad as well.
And that's a mentality, and we're starting to see a little bit about that mentality as well. Right? And I think that's another story. I know that's another story, and we're an hour in. This is just supposed to be a simple chat. But we're starting to see a little bit more of that come forth with everything that's happened. And this is just maybe a sad way the world is. So, and we can touch on certain topics about that, about what you just said, especially when it comes to anime and manga, because there are some thoughts that I want to at least bring up and in pre-shows, in pre-productions in future episodes, because there's some thoughts that have come out that I've read about, and I want to just be sure of these things before I bring them up to the group in our pre-episode meetings. So just something to think about, in the future. But maybe some of the mentalities and some of the things I'll bring up wouldn't really surprise you. It's just, okay, this has become like I'm just putting a current event or a current headline to the mentality.
I'll also say that this trip, I think, finally started to change my approach to hotels.
Okay.
Because I will say, I didn't have high expectations for the hotel I stayed in Kowloon in terms of like total comfort, and my expectations were met. So the washroom is a wet room.
When you say wet room, just elaborate, because that's a new term for me. I think I know, but
so it is a vertical room. So you go in and you see the sink right away, and then I turn straight to my left. It's just one corridor, and the toilet and the shower head are beside each other. So the room is meant, like, you're meant to shower in that area, and the toilet can get wet.
Okay, it's pretty much the impression I thought it would have been.
Yes, and so I had motivation to very quickly shower. It just doesn't look particularly nice. And then
I get the concept. I do get the concept. I've seen it before, probably as a kid.
Yeah, so I showed photos to my friend. My friend also named Kevin, and
Kevin's a common name, so we're not narrowing it.
Yeah, and he was saying if he had been there with me, he would have paid for a new room for me and dragged me out.
Yeah, I get it. I guess that's part of a degree of culture shock too, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I kind of questioned my choice a little bit, but ultimately, like I slept pretty okay because I was able to tough out the jet lag.
Yeah, that's one way to put it.
I was able to like conquer jet lag very quickly by like staying up late enough to just fall asleep at the right time. But I don't know if I would do those kinds of hotels again. I won't lie, because that was meant to be just a one night only thing, and then but the next night I stayed at a hotel close to the airport, so that I would just be close to the airport. But the rest of my hotels I did like stay at least a 3-star. So and I feel like now it's like I'm the type that would do hostels and whatnot and capsule hotels, but there are times where I'm like, you know what? Yeah, let's just do it. I think I'll just do a regular hotel. Like, I think I'm at the point where sometimes I do just want to
stick with the creature, like the creature comforts.
Yeah, just spend some extra money to get some more comfort out of it, because hotels are not cheap in Japan. Like, they are starting to climb in price a fair bit. Hong Kong has always been pretty expensive too.
Sign of the times, dude.
Yeah.
Sign of the times. Okay, but I think I get that, and maybe that's what happens as you get a little older. Pretty sure, anyway.
Yeah, I think this was the turning point in that sense for me.
I don't know if I ever had that, but I had the turning point. But I think I know where you want to go. Probably not much different from where my mentality too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but hey, Kevin's excellent Asian vacation. Okay. That might be the title for the Space Eater.
I won't lie. I'm kind of thinking of when I should go back already.
Good for you. And maybe I'll take a trip at some point myself.
Use your points.
I have a few of those.
Those points covered my flights, so that's what helped a lot too. I won't lie.
But I have stuff saved up. Okay. So more than an hour into this into the chat, and really, I don't know. Like, we can talk about the lists or watch and read lists later on, because maybe I have a small rant there. But I know before we hit the record button, some of the stuff we talked about, like Mo and James, what I talked about with Mo and James caught your attention. So maybe 2 or 3 things that did. Is there something you want to elaborate on, or at least give an opinion on before we any of the more recent headlines? I think we should save for either, like, it's late, to be quite honest. So maybe it's not the time to talk about something completely new, or we'll save it for a regular roundtable just barely into the new year for the New Year's episode. But so of the stuff that we've talked about in the last month or so, is there something you want to bring up, or like 2 or 3 items that caught your attention?
So I'm curious, how busy do you think Anime Revolution was? Because I'm a bit I did listen to the episode, but I'm a bit fuzzy on some of the particulars.
Wow. That's actually an interesting question. I would okay. Did you do Anime Toronto?
I did.
Because I think that one day it was there was people for sure, but it just never. I'm curious to know the numbers. I don't know if we'll ever know the numbers in that sense. But James, if I ask him to put him on that assignment, he'll find out somehow. It's just it didn't strike me as crazy.
Yeah, because this is the 3rd reboot now.
This is the 3rd reboot. That's a good way to put it.
3rd attempt, I should say. 2nd reboot, but 3rd attempt.
3rd attempt, but it's always been under a different name each and every time. But I guess the Anime Revo name will now stick.
Yeah, that's the impression I get too. And I heard that Sumire Uesaka had some delays getting to the event. So
yes, and that was part of the story. And as I said, James and I give them a lot of credit for keeping people in the loop as to that situation as it unfolded. So I give them actually we'll give them a lot of credit on that. So there's no real lingering hard feelings about that.
Because I will say I had my hesitations on going, partially because this was the weekend before my trip. Second of all, I didn't know if there was enough for me to commit to a whole weekend. I ultimately decided to allow fate to decide if I would have any time off to go, and in the end I didn't, because at my part-time job I was just there the whole time, so couldn't go.
And we were talking with mutual friends. We were talking with mutual friends on this one, so
Yeah, I feel like I would have gone Friday only. I feel, especially because I was already downtown at my full-time job. I think that would have been the ideal time for me to go,
But yeah, okay.
but it
I, I
didn't work out.
I will say, looking back on it, I don't regret. Like I don't regret. I think I made a good call, personally, that just doing the single day, and it was the Saturday, and because for me it was all about seeing Uesaka-san, right?
Hmm.
And
And there is a bit of
I was happy.
conflict with the video game expo as well.
Yes, which James talked about at length, and he made it. And James's story from that was fascinating in of itself for nostalgia reasons, right?
Yeah, because he saw Nicholas Pickles there, is what I remember.
The Neiman Marcus, as I said, I would have, if I talked to him, I would have wanted to talk about the Neiman Marcus suspension, because they talked about that, because that was a thing in the mid 90s or mid to late 90s.
Neiman Marcus, the department store.
Yeah. There's a folk tale about a cookie recipe concerning Neiman Marcus
And Nicholas Pickles.
No, well, because it became such a PR nightmare for Neiman Marcus at the time, and it's worth Googling. So they kind of mentioned it, and management got on his case, and his co-host, who I think her name was Janet, and they got
Janet
suspended
Snyder?
on the air. Huh?
Should be Janet Snyder, if I remember correctly.
Yes, and they got suspended on the air. Right on.
Oh, wow.
The show got cut off. The show got cut off, and they got suspended right live. And you heard Snyder storming off. It was a very weird moment to hear that when it unfolded. I was listening to it in the car, right? But that's a story I would have wanted to ask him about. So,
and was it Bob from Reboot who was there?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember correctly then.
So there's that. Okay, so I as I said, going back to the whole anime, to the attendance and to feel busy, it didn't feel crazy. How's that? I never got the impression it was really crazy.
That's to be expected for a reboot year.
For a reboot year, for a year, and for a show that's been really inconsistent in terms of when it would be.
Yeah.
I think that's always a part of it, and I think the organizers understood that.
Because I did notice the day passes did go on sale towards the event.
But it was at but getting it there, it was at the discount at that rate too. It wasn't at full rate. Just service charges and taxes.
Yeah.
Like I never felt like I was hard done by that. So as both James and I said, we came away from the experience, we didn't feel bad about it. I certainly didn't feel bad about the experience. I just, was it a case of low modest expectations? Yeah, probably. But because of that, I enjoyed it.
Were there any recognizable retailers there?
Well, I mean, anime otaku hobby, because I know the people there personally.
Well, they were there. Nice. They were there?
Yeah. That's the Alia figure I bought, actually, that I unboxed during one of the streams.
Okay.
Right. So I wouldn't have recognized them by name, but some of the feel of some of the booths, yeah. I mean, you gotta and then going through the artist alley type vendors, really it's just trinkets. So recognizable, short answer is probably. It's just I don't know the vendors all that well.
I'm just curious if any of the recognizable stores were there.
Okay, short answer, nothing I could recognize, to be honest.
Because I would have assumed maybe the Labyrinth would be there, but maybe who else? Crap, I forgot their name. I would have thought maybe Argama Harvey would be there.
Oh, I think they were actually. Argama was. I recognize that name.
Or Panda Hobby maybe would have been there.
No, but Panda's going through some transition. They closed their Mississauga store. I'm sure
I did see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
As well as I forgot their name. What's their name? I have to go to downtown Toronto to check.
But yeah, you know the retail scene in Toronto a little better than I do. So short answer is entirely possible, right? Entirely possible.
Let me see. They're on
I mean,
Yonge and they're in Markham. Oh, maybe Sino Hobby would have been there too.
That name does sound familiar. So yes. You know what? I will say I regret watching Angel Next Door Spoils Me Rotten after this convention because probably I would have looked for a figure there. I admit I would have probably looked for a figure there, right?
Yeah.
So there's that. Yeah, that's.
I just would not have expected like Anime Extreme or Beguiling or.
No,
I would expect
that's
them to
probably
show
fair.
up.
That's probably fair. There's other they have other priorities these days, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you might, if you're gonna go do it, and maybe go big. And well, Anime Extreme doesn't do Anime North doesn't anymore, do they? I don't remember. I don't recall seeing them.
They might still do it, but for figures only.
Okay.
I think they do actually.
Okay.
They might.
I just didn't. But then again, I'm talking about not seeing it as much. So seeing whenever I do the vendors room at AN, it's always a blur, right? So okay. So that's one thought. Any others?
I'm trying to think. Yeah, Banana Fish AI dub was very disappointing to hear
to hear about it, right?
Because I love Banana Fish, and that was one of those series that seemed to be stuck in Amazon jail.
Mm-hmm. And then they pull
this. Yeah, and I'm hearing that that was not done with their permission in Japan.
There could be ramifications. Like, obviously, we haven't heard about any ramifications, but because that would have been made news.
Because I've wanted physical Banana Fish on Blu-ray for years, and this is a show that was very popular with women because it does have BL trappings, and
it's an old school show. I mean, it's an old school title, right?
Because it is the manga is from the late 80s and early 90s, and I'm just annoyed that I can't own the show because I love this franchise.
I get it. I mean, like, was it part of the Pulp era? The Viz Pulp series?
Yes, run? It was in Pulp.
Because it was in Pulp, yeah. Yeah, because for you it might be Banana Fish. For me, it was Dance Till Tomorrow, right?
Oh, I know of Dance. I do own Dance Till Tomorrow.
I sold mine during a Noma Noichi some years ago.
Oh,
right. So, and it was a good.
That series is a bit pricey now. Kind of sucks that it never got an unflipped release too.
Yeah, that was a good series. That was I enjoyed that one. I did enjoy that.
I still need to read my set.
Yeah, no, it's an interesting read. It's an interesting read.
Yeah,
I only partly regret selling it because maybe I could have sold it for more, but no.
Yeah, you could have sold for more. Yeah,
I probably could have held out for more, but that's just the way life is.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's what was it? Yeah, it's been. I don't know. I haven't been buying too much manga for myself lately.
No, do we start going to that part of the story of our discussion now, or do you want to stick with the headlines just a little longer, or any of the lingering headlines, or is that it?
I'm trying to think of other headlines you guys were talking about.
Well, you want me to list the stuff we talked about? I think we went through them anyway. I think the stuff that I think you would have really wanted to talk about. So, Anime Revolution, we've already talked about that. Like, I mean, anything else, I think we start going way back, too far back, and it's just really not important anymore. Crunchyroll subtitles, Virgin Pumpkin Theaters.
Oh yeah, the AI subtitles, was it?
No, well, in formatting but the potential for AI later on for Crunchyroll. The excuse would be it's just to streamline it so that to the same standards that the rest of the industry is doing. But I call dingo on that. I mean, I call dingo because the way they were doing it, kind of melds nicely with the visuals personally. But that's
I heard they've been removing Russian dubs recently.
Really?
Yeah. Like they're just not producing Russian dubs for some of their upcoming shows that had dubs previously, like Spy Family.
Okay. I wonder what the story would be behind that, but
I think it kind of ties to them. I think it's Sony's stance against Russia in general.
Okay.
Like from a political standpoint, I think that's what it is.
I was about to say, would it be socio-political? I don't know.
I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, but I would have to like actually look into this a bit more.
Maybe another time. Let's see. When we talked on with Mo on December 6th, where did it just come out on the Netflix Warner Brothers sale or the proposal?
Oh yes, this thing.
So, is there anything worth mentioning there right now, or just leave that?
Just feels like a no-win situation.
For who?
For consumers.
Always.
It just feels like there's no real. I guess Paramount would be depending on who you talk to. Paramount might be the worst outcome, but
you're not fond of this one either.
Yeah, Netflix is not a particularly great choice either because we could see movies as we know it ending. Like the whole movie structure of going to the movie theater to see a movie, that could very well change if Netflix buys them out. So it depends on what poison you want to pick, is how I see it.
Well, it sounds like Netflix is committed, has not necessarily committed, but are doing the odd theater run, and they'd probably be marketed a little bit more through if the Warner Discovery thing goes through.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? That's what we're talking to Mo about, being the moviegoer and having a good sense of this. You know?
Yeah.
Just to elaborate. I mean, it's been like when we talked with him that this was breaking, and then the Paramount's hostile takeover attempt was announced the weekend after that weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's nothing new really there. I mean, just some thoughts about. Like we wondered what the anime angle would be, and we started to learn a little bit about that because of the production committees and JoJo's, right?
Yes.
So really the consensus or the basic overview of it, and as I said, maybe worth an elaboration in the future, is it could mess with Crunchyroll's. Some of Crunchyroll's plans should depending on where Warner Brothers Japan has its fingerprints in anime production and in production committees.
Mm-hmm.
JoJo's being most notable, right?
Yeah.
But that's as much. That's really it, and that's really the anime angle right now. And we're trying. And I'm just thinking about this off the top of my head. I don't have anything in front of me to refer to. But there's some titles, and I know Animenomics, the Substack that by Richardson Hanjaja, kind of elaborates a little bit, and I have to reread that to be quite honest. So, but yeah, that's as much of I think as much as we talked about within all those space heaters. And as I said, there's other, we should save that for the New Year's episode. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So to the watch read list. You haven't read much manga lately, you said.
Not much. What have I read and watched? I watched the Chainsaw Man movie.
Oh, okay. What do you have to say about that? I've never read Chainsaw Man, I'll be honest. I know it's popular. It's like, okay, we talked about this generation's big three.
Oh, this was something I actually want to talk about. So You guys were saying My Hero Academia, Jujutsu Kaisen, and what?
Some would say One Punch Man. Some would say Demon Slayer, Chainsaw Man. Would you say that's a big three now? So what would be the big three for this generation?
It has to be Demon Slayer has to be in there at this point.
You think it is? Because by just a sheer commercial standpoint? Just a sheer commercial standpoint?
I cannot say One Punch Man anymore. It's kind of like there's been too long of a gap in between releases. The manga doesn't come out very quickly. Like you might get a chapter or two. You get like maybe 1 or 2 chapters a month,
Okay.
but sometimes there's delays in between that. Season 3 did get announced, but now that they cannot use the first season's animation studio, which had like mind-blowingly amazing animation, I think, is it JC Staff that did season 2? I need to double check this, but while it's still pretty good, it just isn't as good as season 1. So then it's just not really fair to them. But yeah, it is JC Staff for season 2 and I think 3. Whereas you had like Madhouse's A Team on season 1. So for some people, it's just not the same. Plus,
people will see those.
Plus, we're getting to a point in Chainsaw Man where it just drags on. Like the arc gets quite long with this one enemy, and I actually fell off of reading the manga at this point as well.
Got it.
Fallen behind, and so I feel like One Punch Man does not get talked about as much as it used to.
So there's
because of all those factors combining together.
Okay. So there's your opinion. So there's your take on the three of this on the big three of this generation.
I think you. Oh, I guess I would have to say. If we're talking strictly Shonen Jump, I guess I would have to say, My Hero Academia. Although that technically ended, but it kind of feels like that was more of like the Naruto replacement in the sense that, like, that fan base does skew younger, and it really took some time for it to hit its stride at various points in terms of plot development, like when shit really happens in that series. If we include other properties that, like, other
publishers and other labels,
you can make the case for Attack on Titan, to be honest.
Okay. I don't know what to say to that, to be quite honest, but except I'll understand there, we can have that debate.
Like, Attack on Titan's impact really is impressionable. It just left such a strong impression upon many people, and it had its peaks and valleys, but though they had some very strong peaks. Like, when
I could see that.
Like, oh yeah, like things happen. Like I would see people kind of like lose interest, but then get sucked right back in all over again when
various
certain
things
highlights
happen,
and events happened. Yes.
Yeah. I know I have an overview of some of the key moments, but yeah.
And I feel like the last 1 or 2 arcs really made up for a good chunk of the valleys that happened before it.
I'm sure.
Particularly the time skip.
Yeah. And I got the Humble Bundle, and I do have the Humble Bundle of the entire series personally. So I have a digital copy. So
like,
that's
I have coworkers at one of my workplaces that, like, yeah, like they talk very fondly of Attack on Titan.
I get it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what did you...
And did Dragon Ball really ever die? Like, not really.
Story. Yeah, it's another story. So,
because we always say
we could always say then One Piece starts.
But then you have the granddaddy of them all, and that's the thing. One Piece is still going, so you can't really exclude One Piece. So I actually would say it'd be, if I had to pick strictly 3. Yeah, you know what? One Piece, Jujutsu Kaisen, and Demon Slayer. There you go. I put My Hero Academia as number 4 if we're talking Shonen Jump. Got it. Well, but there are a newer crop of series that are they're helping out Shonen Jump. Guy is one. Kagurabachi is another. Most of these have gone anime. I think Kagurabachi has its anime announced. Kanebanashi has its anime announced, because a lot of Jump Fest announcements happened in the last 1 or 2 weeks. Actually, I really do need to continue reading Kanebanashi. That is effectively the Act Age replacement in Shonen Jump.
Wow.
Yeah,
Well,
100%. That took the act age slot of the like not really action oriented,
on yeah
but
on stuff that
still
we've
kind
talked
of
about.
shonen jumpy. Yes.
I get it. Okay. All right. So those are your reads and watches. That's it.
Oh, I didn't actually talk about Chainsaw Man in the end. So I'll because I don't think we talked about it before I left, but so to preface, Tasuke Fujimoto, the creative Chainsaw Man, gets a lot of his inspiration from watching films. He's a big film watcher, and that really makes him stand out from other creators, I would say, because oftentimes you see creators being inspired from other manga creators, but like he takes his inspirations from like films like Reservoir Dogs, among other things, and something tells me that when they made this film, Fujimoto really wanted this to be a cinematic experience, and I truly think that it excels in that front. Just so many gorgeous shots and film styles and techniques were used that really gave me the impression of yep, Fujimoto definitely had some say, or I'd like to think that he had some say in how certain things would play out. And this is a canon movie, I have to reiterate, or I have to stress. So you do need to watch Chainsaw Man before this. It is its own contained arc, but you could make the case that maybe you didn't need to because it's so self-contained, but it does not reintroduce any characters. It does assume all the characters are at the beginning. And it's interesting because Denji's a horn dog, and he really likes Makima, but you introduce a new love interest with this arc, and it really makes you wonder, sometimes you wonder, is maybe this girl is really for him, until it isn't. And the sequence of events that play out are can be pretty gruesome, I won't lie. And you do learn you really learn a lot about certain other characters towards the end of that film too, for better or for worse.
Got it.
And because I truly feel like this film, if the ending of season 1 didn't instill the thought that things are not what they seem in Chainsaw Man, this movie definitely will give you that inclination.
That's an interesting way to put it.
Yeah,
maybe I should at least watch the movie or watch the series.
I do think and that's the reason why I think Chainsaw Man got so much praise throughout its manga run at the time. I was there to witness it because I read it as it came out, and it's you take kind of these themes and exposition that you saw in his early works like Fire Force, or not Fire Force, Fire Punch. Fire Force is by the Soul Eater guy, Atsushi Akubo, but then he kind of confines it into the Shonen Jump format, and it pushed a lot of boundaries for Weekly Shonen Jump too. That's why it eventually had to be moved to Jump Plus, because it was really a bit too much for Weekly Shonen Jump. And yeah, Chainsaw Man has a lot of depth to it. A lot of depth that a lot of other Shonen Jump series don't have, or at least definitely not in the same vein. I feel like it truly has artistic merit to it, and that's why I always do strongly recommend people to at least try out Chainsaw Man one way or another.
There you go.
Particularly the manga, I would say, but
particularly
anime's good too.
Okay, that's a start. All right.
great film overall too.
All right.
Just so well executed.
Well, yeah.
It's and I have a bit of bias because it's my favorite arc as well. Because I do love Reze as a character, but
There's been
it's
talk about Reze.
hmm?
I think there'd been no. Never mind. That's another. I have to be sure about wanting to talk there. Go that part, but
Yeah, she's a complex character
hmm
in some ways.
yeah. Okay. There. Yeah. Remind me to bring that up after the recording's done. Again, just want to be sure of this part. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So, anything else on the watch and read, or
What else have I read anything recently?
because once I get started, we could be here for until the 2-hour mark.
Yeah. Is there any? I'm trying to think what manga I may have read. I actually can't think of anything.
Okay.
In terms of playing, I started playing another Code Recollection. Well, it was originally, if I'm not mistaken, it was originally a set of DS games, and also kind of has like this mystery element to it. And I think you also do have to solve some puzzles and like try and traverse like the island that you have to go into as the main character. I've only just started it, but I've heard good things about it, so I'm looking forward to like a pretty intriguing story because it kind of has this like air of mystery to it. And I've tried playing Nier Automata again, and I just suck at it, man. So bad. Like I can't even get past the starting level.
I wish I could help you there.
Oh,
Anyway. All right. So that's it.
Yeah, I'd say that's it. That's all
right.
I can think of right now.
Okay. Well, no gaming on my end. I periodically open up one of my figures, and probably will add to the collection in the near future.
Oh yeah. That reminds me. I couldn't find the figure I want in Japan either, but one day I'll find Mizuho. I'll find a specific Mizuho figure that I want.
From which title?
Please, teacher.
Oh. Yeah, that's an old school right there.
Oh yeah.
Okay, for me, on the topic of cinematic experiences, now that you brought that, we put that term out there. I did finish the Swordsmith Village saga or Swordsmith Village arc of Demon Slayer a couple days ago.
Did you watch Infinity Castle?
No, I haven't. Which
so I did. I watched that too. Now that you say that, but
okay.
I won't really talk about that.
Not
good.
Yeah.
It was great.
Okay. And probably coming to streaming in sometime in 2026, just probably not at the beginning. Anyway, yes or no? And you've watched all the anime to this point, right? Of Demon Slayer.
No, I've watched season 1. I watched Mugen Train. And did I watch all of Entertainment District? I may have.
Okay.
Maybe I didn't. And then did not watch any more until Infinity Castle, but I have read all of the manga.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe you can still sort of answer this for me, because I'm about to start Hashira training.
Okay.
And then that's the end of the TV. That's the end of the TV anime, right?
Yeah, it's unfortunate that ended up being a whole arc because they definitely they may have even decided at that point, yeah, let's just milk the rest of this franchise for what it's worth and make the rest into a set of movies.
That's the thing. This is where I'm kind of getting at, and maybe it's almost repeating a thought that I've had in the past. I think the way the story is structured, and maybe maybe in some ways they paint everybody involved has painted themselves into a corner over this. They can only tell the narrative the rest of the way through features.
Well, they didn't have to. They just wanted to make as much money as possible.
You call it a milk out. You call it a squeeze.
Yeah, because Demon Slayer is mainstream popular in Japan, so they feel like they had to. Not every Shonen Jump series has mainstream popularity possibility,
and it is domestically there.
Yeah, we're talking like
right?
We're talking like 8-year-old children, like 70-year-old seniors, like watching and enjoying Demon Slayer. That's as mainstream as it gets.
Okay, so
That's
you
like
don't call
Shin-chan level or Detective Conan level of mainstream.
that's a hell of a statement to make.
It is.
It
Because
is, you honestly believe that?
yeah, Infinity Castle played for like months on end at the theater. Like several months on end.
This is a debate. You know that. I would have to like. This is a debate. I get the feeling now that we've put this out there, and it's not. It may not necessarily be a revolutionary thought, so don't worry about that. But certainly a new one to me.
Yeah, it's that popular in Japan.
That isn't. Well, you were just there, so that's a fair. So, I mean, you may have something anecdotal, certainly at worst.
Yeah, I heard Lisa's Demon Slayer songs every so often in malls and stores.
Fair enough, but that's a new thought. And that is so worth putting up to the others, to other people, right? So okay, I get it. So it's not so much creative paint into the corner. You just call it a squeeze out or a milking for. In your opinion,
they didn't need to. I think like that arc is worth doing movies for, but this should have ended a while ago. And the fact that you're gonna stretch it to every 2 years, like come on.
Well, as I said, it becomes it comes back to our long discussion about the media mix, the ecosystem. One thing becomes an advertisement for the other.
This is happening to Haikyuu as well, where they're basically doing the rest of Haikyuu as movies as well.
I get
for the most part, and I don't think Haikyuu is as popular as Demon Slayer, but Haikyuu definitely has its ardent fan base, and of mostly women.
But for me, it's just I take it from the other angle. If you want to know the rest of the story, you end up reading the source.
Like Haikyuu, I can believe that, like. They just need to earn enough funding to make these movies like a more occasional thing. But you can't tell me that they couldn't have finished Demon Slayer by now. No way. The manga's been done for a few years now.
Yeah, I get that. I get that part of the story. I get that part. So yeah, okay, we'll call it a milking. Sure, why not? But maybe I have to finish all the anime to this point, and then maybe be able to make a comparison by reading the manga. The manga, I have to get back to that.
Like, how is My Hero Academia over, but Demon Slayer isn't?
Good point.
My Hero was like
disagree.
It was pretty popular too, but just not quite to the same degree as Demon Slayer. From so far as I can see.
So keep it in the public eye and make sure and hope that the 70-year-old part of the demographic gets to 75. And 80. Okay, so there's that. That's and maybe as I finish Hashira training, I'll revisit it again, and then figure out a way to eventually see Infinity Castle and read the manga. All right. So what else on the on my own watch and read? Well, going back to the whole light novel thing, right? So. I mean, you saw me open up the first 4 volumes of Angel Next Door.
Yeah.
So there's that. And I guess I'll learn the story in more detail as I read that. And I'm holding up my Kindle. I know where people will only hear this audio, but Kevin and I can see each other visually. Well, not really Kevin, but you see me holding up my Kindle. I'm still reading my stepmom's daughter. I'm on volume. I just started volume 8 of that actually.
My stepmom's daughter.
My stepmom's. Or should I go the long version of the title?
What's the subtitle?
My stepmom's daughter is my ex.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. As I said, I'm a sucker for those type of titles.
You're gonna say type of shit. Hey. Well, I am an ardent fan of Prison School. Who am I to judge?
Yeah, whatever turns your crank. Well, it's just you remember. I'm starting to read more properties that have that's whose core material is a light novel, right?
Mm.
So Stepmom's Daughter, Our Dating Story, being a couple, being some of them, Angel Next Door. The girl I saved on the train is my childhood friend. So I haven't read. I mean, I have the light novels for a lot of these, and eventually I'll start them. And then, and a lot of these have related manga up titles, which I had been reading. Right. So
How trashy would you say some of these are?
Trash in what way?
Like egregious fan service, themes that would not be palatable to conventional Western audiences.
Wow, that's a loaded question. In terms of the fan service, it's minimal. The fan service, I don't find all that like
contrived setups.
Oh, sure, I get that. Suspend your reality, right?
Because I won't lie, when I'm in the mood for like trashy like romantic comedies or trashy fan servicey titles, like I actually do truly believe like Prison School is a subversion of like the fans of like those fan service titles in a way, because sometimes with one particular character or with Mako, the vice president, you're like the fan service so extreme that it kind of goes back to being a bit uncomfortable and off-putting. And then
I could say that about one title I've been reading on Manga Up, and I haven't mentioned it yet.
And there's actually a core mystery element to that series because of it's kind of like they're like, you know, the boys are put into a almost impossible situation, and you just wonder how can they possibly get out of it, and just that in itself is just a roller coaster ride of emotions and actions that just defy logic, but it's so hilarious but so amazing in how it's executed for a good chunk of that series, although it does falter a fair bit towards the end.
I get it.
And then you have, and I've also enjoyed, but other than I've also enjoyed titles like Who Wants to Be a Billionaire and World's End Harem, and those are definitely like pretty trashy. I won't lie. Like I think World's End Harem has a very intriguing world setup where it's the whole notion of like, oh, there's almost no men left in the world, but there's only a few of them left, and now every woman wants to or almost every woman wants to have children with these remaining 5 men.
Great.
But there's a reason, but there's forces at play that don't want this to happen. So there's an element of like mystery and intrigue to it.
So trashy fan service, is that where we're at?
That one has some pretty egregious fan service, yes.
Okay, one of the titles I was reading on Manga Up is one called "The Teen Web Novelist is a Girl Magnet. Now My Crush Feels Bad for Rejecting Me." That's the English title. That is trashy. It is. It's a god awful. I think of it as god awful, but it's
like wish fulfillment, because it's the whole. Because I remember you reading the synopsis for that. I do actually recall that part of the episode, and it's like, I feel like those series are meant for the reader to self-insert themselves into, and
okay, yeah, well,
and
okay,
go like, oh yeah, like
everything I read,
like he
fully admit
got that. Like the girl didn't like him, but then he was able to get past it and then attract other women.
Yes, and now
making the other one jealous, and then
and that's where we are in this series. Yeah, so
like, you know what's very similar to this? Well, not entirely similar, but I think of Masamune-kun's Revenge.
Oh, that, yeah. Which
not quite revengey in that sense, like, but like it's not quite egregious, like it's not quite mean-spirited, I feel, at least
Yeah,
up to where I read.
And I've had trouble really getting into that series. I'll be honest.
But then I also think of series like Redo of Healer, where
we have to go there.
Like, he got screwed over by his party, but now he has a chance to screw them back, figuratively and literally,
and takes advantage.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, I don't want to say revenge porn, but it's basically like revenge fantasy, I guess, for lack of better phrasing.
Okay. So yeah, I don't know. As I said, this is just the stuff I read, right? These are some of the things I've been keeping up with.
Although, yeah, go on.
Although, well, first of all, your thought, and then I'll elaborate. I'll change gear just slightly.
Like I'm trying to think of like how often this happened in the past. Like, because I know with like knowing what you've read in the past, like you've always been a fan of romantic dramas and like certain romantic comedies because like I know you as like a fan of like Kimagure Orange Road and Video Girl Eye, and I'd even say Love Hina, perhaps.
Yeah. Well, no, fair statement. That's a fair statement. I mean, I did like Love Hina.
Yeah,
and I know there's a debate as to how badly.
And like you liking Blue Box is a good example of that, because
Blue Box
is like the new, like Blue Box took over. It's like the eyes. It's like a more of a romantic drama.
Well,
in a sense.
Okay, so let me pull out another title that we haven't talked about tonight, but I have in recent times, and it's a popular one these days, also on Netflix. Fragrant Flower. Fragrant Flower blooms Fragrant Flower blooms with dignity.
Okay,
that's a big one right now on Netflix too. Right, same thing. Much and arguably, and Karuko is probably in the running for Best Girl 2025. Although our old friend William Moo from Anime Trending will update us on the polls there, right? So, like, that's a popular one right now. This goes on and on, and I've read that, and I've read the first 3 volumes of the manga, watched the entire anime series, first season, and I liked it. And I liked it overall, but I admit Angel Next Door probably hit a little harder. So that's why I have that's why I bought the light novels.
Like, yeah, I'm just thinking, like, I'm glad we're in a situation where we can be like, we can enjoy whatever we want. We can be picky now with these kinds of shows. Couldn't quite say the same back then.
Well, yeah, and now you have me digressing just a little bit, because we say that I joke around about that. I'm sorry, I cut you off too.
No worries. It's I just wish that they made good anime versions for this, because I know the World's End Harem anime is not particularly good. Censoring aside, like there's just like they don't cover enough of it. Like it didn't do well, so that's why they never got that second season. The animation is not very good from what I hear.
Fragrant Flower had some great looking animation, and people are really wondering if there'll be it hasn't been officially announced to season 2, but people think that's inevitable. We did get a few visuals we did get some first visuals for the Blue Box second season. So there's those. I mean, this can go on and on, right? So there's those. I'm fully admitting, you know what? We're really stretched for time, but I know I wanted, like, you knew before we started recording, I would have brought up stuff that, like, I've had a love-hate relationship, or not necessarily love-hate, but my feelings about the fan subs, fan translation, and piracy, right?
Yeah.
And I've teetered a little bit on that, right?
Okay.
I'm totally wondering where I ask myself, I have to reset my thinking on that a little bit once in a while, because when I doom scroll on YouTube, then I see little shorts presenting like introducing all these other series which don't have Western releases yet, but they're being covered by scanlation sites, right? And then I find out, okay, these are manga, but then they're based on light novels. So is there translations of the light novels? And I'm finding out, yes, some have translated a web novel version of this. Some have, and then subsequent light novel publishings. So there's at least 2 series that I'm starting to keep up with, where I first was introduced to their manga versions, but then I find out there were light novels and they've been translated. Right. And maybe it won't surprise you. Yeah, they're high school romance.
That's fine.
Right.
I like a good high school romance.
Yeah. I mean, one's more of a thriller psychological drama. The other is, once again, insert yourself into the role of the male lead, right? So Jinsei Gwakuten, Life Reversal. That's one. I was cheated on and falsely accused. But I love these long-winded titles. But now the most beautiful girl in the school is getting close to me. That's one of them.
I was never a fan of these long titles, I'll be honest.
Well, keep in mind, it could be a literal translation, right? Could be a literal translation of
it's basically become a meme at this point that these titles have to be long. Because remember, Full Metal Panic was also a visual novel.
Yes,
not visual. It was a light novel first.
A light novel, which I have, which sits here, like the whole thing here. I
think Slayers was originally a novel too before it became an anime, if I'm not mistaken.
You're probably right. Anyway, and then the other one is, and by the way, Life Reversal. I know apparently Kadokawa has that. Kadokawa has it in Japanese, so maybe that could happen. We'll see if that's what the demographic here would want.
Yeah, I could see that being like a J Novel Club kind of release.
Mm-hmm. The other one is, and I'm gonna try and let me try to get the translations correct here. So and I'm sorry, I'm just looking this at best I could. The short version of the title is Otonori Asobi. That's the short version of the Japanese title. That's how it's shortened. And for fear of getting flamed, I'm not going to try and pronounce the whole Japanese title. Although the rough translation is the story of how a beautiful foreign student who lives next door started to visit my house after I helped a lost little girl. That little girl being the student's little sister.
Of course.
Right. And it sounds really, and reading the manga to this, the translation of the manga to this point sounds really heartwarming. And then looking at the overview of the light novels, whatever I could find, and it's apparently 7 volumes to this point. Yeah.
There was one that I remember seeing where it was something along the lines of like, the girl you saved, like, it's basically you protected her from getting molested on a train, and then
that's the girl I saved on the train turned out to be my childhood friend.
Oh, okay.
And I'm reading the manga of that. I'm almost finished the manga version to this point, but the light novels are long completed, and
that one actually interested me.
That becomes a little bit more, I wouldn't say psychological, but it like he has to really like. It's clear for the main character that there's parts about his childhood he doesn't remember all that well. And it's kind of coming to the forefront a little bit as like the manga is past the halfway, what I gather past the halfway point of the light novels. Like 2/3 through, I think.
Okay.
So, and I know the manga is finished in Japan, but they have yet to fully translate it. Squaresoft has yet to complete it. So that's why I picked up the light novels. Which, and by the way, the each volume of the light novel is not as thick as the volumes of Angel Next Door, and it's the same. And it's both Yen Press.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of meat on the bone there, right? So I mean, I'm starting to read these other two titles that have just been translated, that have just been fan translated, right? So I'll keep you informed. But let's just say they look like they could be an interesting read, but probably on the guilty pleasure side. But then again, not as guilty pleasure as the web novelist one. So that's those are in my queues at the moment, right? And I'm continuing reading stuff through Manga Up, and Manga Up has the complete Horimiya, has the complete My Dress Up Darling. Although I've been working on the actual getting physical copies of that. So I'm still praising having the Manga Up subscription at the moment. I haven't really regretted that. It's just other things, lots. As I said, for the commute to work, it's just nice to have these. But my only real criticism of Manga Up is that there's no offline reading function. Like I think I mentioned that before, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, I think it would be. I would give it a bit higher mark than I already have, because just on the titles alone, fun reads. Those are worthwhile reads. Right, Angel Next Door manga is on that too. So, like, there's some reads that I really want to get into, so I don't regret it at all right now. So, okay. But that's as much, and maybe I'll keep you guys updated as I go through all of this. Something tells me I will take a break from my stepmom's daughter after I finish volume 8, and then I'll start reading the other light novels more extensively. I have finished all of the translations of Life Reversal to this point, by the way. So I actually, it was that much of a riveting read. I read the whole translation of the web novel and then actually the translation of the light novels. Obviously there are differences, right? We kind of understand that.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. Anime wise, okay, I'll get back to you. I might finish. I could finish up Catch Me at the Ballpark soon. I paused watching that because I ended up getting sucked in by Angel Next Door.
Mm-hmm.
I am horrible, by the way, with that.
That's fine.
So, and then there are other titles out there that, and some of these are based on light novels as well.
Mm-hmm.
For God's sakes.
Yeah, I have
my stepsister is there. Jesus Christ.
I have friends that are very into these light novel.
Well, I'm getting a respect for a newfound fandom for light novels, right? I don't want to say newfound respect or fandom. It's just you see a story, once again, it comes back to my point. You're introduced to a story through other forms, whether it's the anime or the manga, but you find out it's based on a light novel. You want to know as much of the story as possible, if not the whole story. So I find myself pursuing that. And it's really, really sad. Alia is like that. So Roshi Dare. So Alia Hides Her Feelings in Russian. Ongoing. I think it's volume 9 right now. Right? That's on the topic of Uesaka. And I have that sitting here. So after I'm done this, I have to decide which series am I going to start next, light novel wise. Friggin' Flower, as much as I enjoyed it in the manga form, maybe that's a back burner for now. And I liked it. I really liked it. It's just that there are other titles that just have my attention a little more so. So where do I go next, right?
Yeah.
So that's my dilemma. Stay tuned. Oh, yeah, but maybe I've said too much about this whole thing, and it's we've been chatting for 2 hours now. It's late. I will say this much. If I'm to make a guess, I think I have at least one more stream before the new year. Because there's some show and tell. I got a gift for Christmas, and I really want to show that in that stream. And I'm not even gonna tell you what it is. People will just have to see the stream when it happens, or watch the archive on YouTube or Twitch when it's there for the week on Twitch. So stay tuned for that. right?
Mm.
I won't. As I said, I'm not saying anything about it until I show you guys in the stream. I think people will get a kick out of it personally. What it is I have to show. Do you want a hint as to what it could be?
Okay.
It's somewhat related to our fandom. I think enough. How's that? How's that as a hint? Not to say that we're going to get gobs and gobs of people wanting to watch the streams. Nobody really pays attention. But hey, something to look forward to. Something to think about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, as I said, if I know I'll do I get the feeling when I get around to that, and as I said, I hope it's before the new year. It'll probably be a morning stream because, yeah. Anyway, thanks for the time, Kevin.
You're welcome.
Are you working tomorrow? I have to
Yeah.
ask that. What time? Like, have I messed you? Have I fucked you up?
No, I'm a night owl.
Cool.
I
know that about you. Yeah, I've known that about you for years.
Yeah, I need to go in under 9 hours.
Under 9 hours. So you're what, like before noon?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll let you sleep. Anyway,
okay.
That's it for the Space Heater. Let us know what you think wherever you're watching or listening to this. Either in the comments down below on YouTube, animeroundtable.com. We're on the socials at Anime Roundtable. Hey, I gave you something to look forward to. YouTube or Twitch. Give us a follow there. If you're seeing this on YouTube, do us a favor, give us a thumbs up. It'll greatly help us and the roundtable as a whole. And I'll say it one more time while you're at it. Do us one final favor. A subscribe on YouTube, a follow on Twitch, a bookmark wherever you get your podcasts so you know when we do put something up.
We'd love for people to reach out to us because it's always good to know who's out there.
Yeah, I make the joke. There's nobody listening. I say that only because I've never heard who does.
You know who does. Not
really. Yeah, friends and family. Thanks for listening, Kevin.
Some of them even appeared in the stream.
Oh yeah, well yeah, those are friends too.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get somebody wandering into the streams. Maybe somebody will wander on YouTube. Of course, we have to promote a little better in the new year, right?
Mm-hmm.
So hey, that's an ongoing project. This is a passion project, always has been. But I think that's it. That's as much as we're gonna do podcast-wise for 2025. So until we talk again in 2026. Yo otoshi o umoke kodasai. Cross over safely into the new year. And we'll hopefully talk to you then. Have a good night.
All right. Have a good night, guys.